On this episode of The Shed Show, we'll learn that just because something is small doesn't mean it can't have a big impact. Take me, for example. Psst, I'm down here. Hi, I'm Juan Garcia, Senior Water Efficiency Specialist at the Irvine Ranch Water District, and I am here to teach you how to turn a small space into a beautiful, climate-appropriate landscape.
And I'll do that with the help of my friend and accomplished landscape designer, Jodie Cook.
Thanks, Juan. Together, we'll show you how to replace your turf and transform your small space with some big landscape thinking that'll result in a beautiful, water-efficient landscape with major curb appeal, like this.
Begin, it's important to figure out what purpose and look you want for your space.
Let's take a look at some before photos from this project so you can see how dramatically you can improve your space. As you can see, what was here before were two small patches of grass, and the lawn made this small front yard landscape look even smaller. Certainly nothing that would catch your eye or accentuate your home like what's here now.
It's quite an upgrade, that's for sure. Other than the size, in this case small, your design could be any number of things. Will it be primarily a sitting area? Perhaps you're looking to create an ocean-friendly garden or a cottage garden. Maybe you want to incorporate permeable hardscape elements. Whatever it is you're after, there are three main steps involved in creating a small space landscape. They are conducting a site analysis, creating the initial design, and completing the plan.
That's right, Juan. You start with a site analysis. This is when you take a look at what exists in the space you want to transform. For example, what's already there? What do you want to keep? And what needs to go? Other elements to be evaluated are existing irrigation or other drainage issues like ponding or slopes, to name a couple. And let's not forget about the soil. Where we live, compacted soil can be a real challenge, especially under a lawn. A vibrant landscape needs healthy, living soil that's teeming with the types of organisms that plants depend on for food, water, and survival.
Great points, Jodie. And with all landscape projects, you'll also want to consider the sun exposure. With all of our small space designs, the focus is on water efficiency and watershed landscaping designed to capture rainwater and reduce the demand for supplementary irrigation when possible. I also recommend hydrozoning, organizing your plants based on their water needs and ensuring that plants with similar water needs are irrigated by the same sprinkler valve. This helps avoid under or overwatering your plants.
Once that's done, it's time to start playing with design elements. And this is where your creativity can really shine. There are lots of things you can do, so don't be afraid to experiment. At this point, we're just talking about making a few simple drawings on paper or even creating an inspiration board, pulling all your ideas together. That way, you can explore lots of options to determine exactly what you want. You should also visit a plant nursery to find plants you love.
When doing this by yourself or with a professional, it helps you visualize what the finished project will be. And of course, your design should include any non-plant design elements you want. Sculptures, hardscape, furniture, you name it. Jodie, what are some common themes you use in your designs?
Well, one popular theme is the pollinator or wildlife garden. For this type of garden, I like to start by layering plant heights to create interest and improve the functionality of the landscape. Some plants should be low ground covers that shade the ground and suppress weeds. At the other end of the spectrum, even a small space usually has room for a small tree or a large shrub. This is an important habitat component because a lot of birds, such as hummingbirds, like to perch to make sure the coast is clear before they investigate the flowers below. It's also an aesthetic component because it integrates the large-scale architecture of the house into the garden and softens the edges of the house. And now let's look at the design drawing for this native small space landscape. As you look at it, note how important it is to factor in the mature size of the plants so they have plenty of room to grow. This garden is over 3 years old and the perennials and shrubs are entering maturity. Had their full growth not been accounted for, some plants that grew too large would have had to be pulled. So check the labels and make sure you note the mature size of each plant. Remember, they all start small. Another thing I find really helpful is to physically map out your design in your space using gypsum or biodegradable paint. That way, you can really get a sense of the space and how the new landscaping will look at your home.
Great examples, Jody. Now, this area we're looking at is a water-efficient landscape featuring California native plants.
That's right, Juan. As you can see, native plants not only provide you with a beautiful landscape, but because they're adapted to the rain cycle here, they only start getting thirsty when rain is most likely to fall, which greatly reduces the need for watering. You get year-round beauty that's as easy on the eye as it is on the environment.
So these plants are smart and good looking, just like me. Another bonus is that California native plants attract and provide food and shelter for a range of local wildlife and insects, including pollinators like birds and butterflies. And the more pollinators, the more plants can reproduce.
Exactly right, Juan. There are so many benefits to native plants. They're perfectly suited to our region.
Jody, since you designed this landscape, walk us around the plants you chose and why.
Of course. Many of these plants are especially important to pollinators, including butterflies and native bees, which, by the way, are very gentle. Many aren't capable of stinging, and they don't swarm or make hives, and their numbers are declining. Pollinators are important, and we can help them even in small spaces. This California lilac is a fragrant and robust flowering shrub that thrives in full sun. This aster is an important fall pollinator plant, providing nectar and high-protein pollen and seeds during the off-season. Their star-shaped blooms also add a beautiful touch to any garden. It's a win-win situation. Small spaces are also great places to save plants that are vulnerable to extinction, like the San Clemente Island bush mallow, one of the most beautiful plants in the garden when it's in bloom. It's listed as endangered, so to conserve it in a front yard, you may help save it.
Great choices. But hey, there are lots of plants to choose from when designing your landscape, so feel free to make your own selections. Local garden centers offer plants of all colors, shapes, sizes, and textures you can choose to create a beautiful, water-efficient space like this. Wait, no, not that. This and this. Now, Jody, how about telling us about your hardscape choices, irrigation, and stormwater capture elements?
You bet. The paver path was part of the design, allowing water to seep into the soil. And speaking of water, the most important things to notice in this small space are the rain chain and the contouring of the landscape to slow down and infiltrate rainfall into the soil. When rainwater goes through soil, it refreshes plants and arrives in our streams and ocean clean.
Thanks for explaining everything, Jody.
Happy to help, Juan.
There's just one thing missing.
What's that?
The mail. Linda from Newport Beach asks, Dear Juan, I would like to know if there's any help out there for people wanting to remove their lawn and replace it with a beautiful water-friendly landscape, like this. Sincerely, Linda. Excellent question. I'm happy to tell you, yes, turf replacement programs and generous rebates are available. For every square foot of green grass you remove, you can receive lovely green cash. Below is a website you can visit to learn more about the programs and requirements.
Anything else, Juan?
Maybe a glass of iced tea? Whoa, nice job! By the way, if you like what you've seen today but have a larger area to landscape, all of what we talked about transfers to a bigger space. To learn more and to watch other episodes of The Shed Show, visit irwd.com/shedshow. Until next time, happy planting!